There's no doubt about the fact that the players playing professional football in the NFL are no dummies. Nevertheless, every once in a while, there comes someone who proves to be in a league of their own so much that they make the other professionals look like kids. The mere presence of these moguls on the field strikes fear in their opposition. Let's take a look at some NFL players who are too good for their opposition. First off, Dick Butkus. Dick Butkus was the middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears during the years 1965 to 1973. Considered one of the most ferocious defensive players in the league, he's nicknamed the Monster of Midway for his hard-hitting play. The monster used to growl at his opponents, intimidating them by hurling insults and telling them that he'd destroy them on the field. And Dick wasn't just an all-bark, no-bite player, he's quick on his feet and even faster in his game awareness. He came out to be one of the greatest turnover machines in NFL history. In 9 years of the game, he forced a whopping 49 turnovers, 22 interceptions, and 27 fumble recoveries. He's indeed on another level. Butkus was on 5 All-Pro selections and remained a Pro Bowler in 8 seasons straight. He's also named the Defensive Player of the Year by the Pro Football Writers of America in 1970, regardless of the fact that his team had only won 1 game. This speaks volumes about his prowess in his individual capacity. In recognition of his standing in the NFL, the award for best linebackers at various levels has been renamed as Dick Butkus Award. Now, that's an achievement. Butkus was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame on the first ballot of 1979. He's also named to the NFL 100 All-Time Team, Pro Football Hall of Fame All-1960s Team, and Pro Football Hall of Fame All-1970s Team. Moving on, Reggie White. Reggie White always wanted to be the best player ever to play in his position and ended up just the greatest on the defensive side of the ball ever. He played 9 years for the Philadelphia Eagles and almost 6 years for the Green Bay Packers. During his time at the Eagles, he registered some 124 sacks in 121 games and topped them up with 68.5 more during his 6 years at the Packers. Those are insane stats for any lineman. In his 15 years of career, Reggie had 13 double-digit sack seasons and led the season twice. Named Defensive Player of the Year twice, Reggie helped his team win Super Bowl 31 by registering 3 sacks, a Super Bowl record at the time. His finesse as a defensive player really came out in the 1987 season. Despite a short-lived season of only 12 games due to a strike, White registered 21 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and a defensive touchdown. What's interesting about this touchdown was that to do so, he strip-sacked a quarterback and ran 70 yards. That's just beyond imagination. He's 13 Pro Bowl, 8 First-Team All-Pro, Pro Football Hall of Fame All-1980s and All-1990s team, and NFL 100 All-Time Team selections to his name. He also holds second place on the all-time career sack leader list, with just 2 sacks behind Bruce Smith, who played 4 more seasons than White. For his medal, he's nicknamed the Minister of Defense by his teammates. And now, Walter Payton. Walter Payton spent his entire career at the Chicago Bears and played during 1975 to 1987. Nicknamed Sweetness for his running ball skills, Walter was anything but sweet, especially to the opponents when with the ball. He's an extremely powerful and elusive runner. Jim Brown even went as far as saying that Payton was a warrior who never ran out of bounds to avoid a hit. What made Payton different from the crowd was his durability. He played 186 consecutive games after an injury during his rookie year. Payton made many records during his playing years. He's a leading career rusher in yards of his time. He's a maniac when it comes to playing, something that he established well in his November 1977 game. The man showed up on the field with the flu and a 102-degree fever. He then made a single-game rushing record with 275 yards against the Vikings. The record remained intact for 23 years. He's a 9-time Pro Bowler with 5 first-team All-Pro selections and a 1977 MVP to his name. He also received a 1977 Walter Payton Man of the Year award. For his achievements and performance during an illustrious career, he's inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1993. Up next, Aaron Donald. Despite the fact that Aaron Donald hasn't played a full 10 years in the league yet and continues to play to this day, he's still worthy of being included in the list of the greatest players too good for their opponents. Having played for only 7 years in the league, Donald is already locked in for a first-ballot Hall of Fame nomination. Ever since his debut in 2014, he's been All-Pro selection every year except his rookie year, when he's the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's well on his way to going down in history as the greatest defensive player of all time. Go Donald! He led the sacks in 2018 with 20.5 from the defensive tackle position. Whoa, right? He's a full package with technique, power, and finesse. In his short and nowhere near the end of his career, he's already tied the NFL record for the most Defensive Player of the Year awards, having won 3. He already holds the 9th position in all-time career tackles for a loss list, and the trajectories show that should his stats hold, he'll be the all-time leader in less than 4 seasons. Donald also has a Super Bowl championship to his name. We just feel sorry for all the players who've to play against him in the games. And now, Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is known as the single smartest player in NFL history. Regardless of which team he played for, he'd always be the most important player on the roster, a fact which is consolidated by his 5 Most Valuable Player awards, the most for any single player in NFL history. He only had a losing record fired twice in his career, once after his rookie year and again in 2001, when he ranked second in offense but had the worst defense. His stature on the team is established by the fact that after his retirement post-2015 season, the Denver Broncos went from winning Super Bowl to failing to win double digits in 5 years. But the thing that made Peyton indispensable was his ability to be the anchor for his team. He could carry his team through the darkest moments, giving them hope and keeping them focused. His leadership prowess shined the brightest during his Monday night, October 2003 game, when his team was trailing 35-14 with only 4 minutes left in game. Thanks to his leadership spirit, they capped off the victory 38-35 in overtime. He's a leader in NFL career game-winning drives and NFL career comebacks lists. No doubt he's the kind of player opponents feared having to play against, for he'd rally his whole team to become an unstoppable force. For this very reason, he's nicknamed the Sheriff by his teammates. And finally, Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is the one player in the history of the NFL who single-handedly changed multiple positions and offensive schemes forever. At the time when Lawrence started playing, the NFL was running a quarterback-driven offense system with pass-catching running backs and less rushing overall. However, his arrival on the scene took the field by surprise, for his combination of speed and size decimated entire offensive schemes. It's his ability to overpower any left tackle that led his teams to look for the best players in the position. Today, the left tackle is the second highest paid player on the team behind the quarterback. He had a special prowess for rushing and running behind the line, even at times when he wasn't supposed to, something he did twice during a December 1981 game against the Cardinals despite a scolding from his coach, who wanted him to play by the book. The first time, Taylor sacked the quarterback, but the second time he recorded a sack fumble that was returned with the score. Afterward, Taylor told the coach to add the play to the playbook. That's how you do it, boys. When the coach starts to cuss for deviations, you carve the play into the playbook. Taylor not only played well, but he also inspired plays and techniques for which he's regarded in history as one of the greatest linebackers of all time. He's a 1981 Defensive Rookie of the Year winner, a 10-time Pro Bowler, an 8-time First-Team All-Pro selectee, 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 1986 NFL MVP, even as a defensive player, and an NFL 100 All-Time Team selectee. He's inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1999. There are very few players like Lawrence Taylor who didn't just adapt to the game, rather, they made the game adapt to them. He's indeed one of those players who would place the opposing team on a lower pedestal even before the whistle just by being on the team. That's a wrap for this video. Who among these players is the best in your opinion? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.